Hey everybody, I'm Wild Man Wess.
I'm Jefe.
And welcome to another edition of What's Your Poison? From the last 4 parts that we had a while back, we had a couple beers and ales from the Chicagoland area.
Just a couple.
Yeah, just a couple. No, we had 10, but we're going to stick to 3 on this one. I actually took the liberty of going back to my hometown of the Quad Cities on the border of Illinois and Iowa, and I have 3 beers with us right now. First one we have is the Mississippi Blonde from Bent River Brewing from Rock Island, Illinois. It's a nice blonde. It's a very just light-bodied ale. I enjoy it a lot. I'll be honest, I've actually had these before. I just wanted to introduce Jefe to these because they're amazing. The next one is from Millstream Brewing Company. It's the Fuzz Peach Kolsch. I'm trying to make sure I say it right. Earlier, I was totally screwing it up, but it is what it is.
It's okay. When we get to it, we'll talk about it.
Oh yeah. And last but not least, for our dessert beer, from Front Street Brewing in Davenport, Iowa, we have the Cherry Blonde Bomb. Oh, the very first time I had this was at Analog Barcade in Moline, Illinois. This is the creme de la creme right here. So we're gonna get started, and we're gonna start off with the blonde.
I'm pretty excited about this only because these are 3 great light-looking beers. I just want to see if we can find a new summer drinker out of it. So I'll be excited to dive into these with you guys as well.
All right, let's get started.
So the first beer that he brought to us today is right here, Bent River's Mississippi Blonde. It just looks like a pretty simple light blonde ale. It just says here, Mississippi Blonde has been a Bent River fan favorite for over 20 years. Frequently crisp, refreshingly crisp, light-bodied golden ale is light on the hops and barley forward. Crack open a bottle, see for yourself. Nothing goes down like a blonde.
Hi-oh!
Beer. It doesn't say, you know what I mean. It's like a, yeah.
Phrasing.
Also, one of my favorite things about Bent River's whole ordeal is their slogan that just says "Get Bent," basically.
Oh yeah.
These guys do a lot of really interesting beers. I visited their brewery last year, and I was a tap room in Moline, and they do have small batch brewery there. But it was pretty cool to get to try a whole bunch of things. I had a couple flights, but Get Bent basically just they'll do whatever they want. One of their most popular beers out there is a jalapeno pepper ale.
Oh yeah, I've had that one before many a times. Whether it's at Bent River or when they have some of the breweries that are at, like at Ribco.
Sure.
I've always been a fan of that.
When this brewery was first brought to me years ago, and when they approached me with their portfolio, the first thing that jumped out to me was the jalapeno pepper ale. And I was like, okay, I know myself, I love spicy, but jalapenos are not necessarily spicy. They are if you get a lot of seeds.
Why, man? They can't bust you for seeds.
But if you're putting it in a beer, you actually get a sweet pepper flavor out of it. So I'm actually very excited to try just one of their core beers here and give it a shot and see what light beer from Rock Island, Illinois tastes like.
Exactly. All right, well, do your thing.
All right, so here we go. First thing that you notice, again, we've noticed with our glasses before, there's a little bit more of a gold touch to this one. I honestly just want to say it's probably because of the printing on the glass. But yeah, when you hold it up to the light, this one actually has a darker hue. This is very straw colored, a little tiny bit of haze, pretty normal in your average blondes. And you got a lot of carbonation going on here. Definitely light, easy looking. Smells almost nothing. I'm not really. Foam in the nose. Just don't drink from your nose, kids. The more you know. Oh, Joe! Here, cheers.
Cheers on this one.
Very light, definitely malt forward. I get a lot of the malt in there. I'm getting absolutely no bitterness whatsoever. Actually, some of the bitterness kind of reminds me of like a lemon peel. Not necessarily the tartness of a lemon peel, but more of a, I guess the dryness of a rind of a lemon. That's kind of what it gets.
Still checking on the label to see if they might actually have any.
I don't think so. It's nothing sweet.
Light bodied golden ale, I mean, really.
Like the only sweet I'm getting is from the barley itself. So yeah, I mean it's definitely light straw beer.
Not a lot of bite to it.
No, not at all.
I would say there's a heartiness when it goes down.
Yeah, it's got a more of a medium body. I mean, it kind of looks, just a little bit of haze in there, but it definitely has more of a medium body. Kind of goes down a little harder. And that carbonation is still going. I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, I definitely feel like I've only had, say, 3 ounces of this beer, and I already want to burp. So it's like,
this is definitely one of those that I wouldn't say that you probably drink like a 6-pack in a day. Probably. I mean, you could, but I mean, like, depending on how you feel about with carbonation and everything, especially, feeling a burp coming on.
Also, if you're doing a lot of physical activity, you probably wouldn't want to do this because it'll get foamy and sunny in your stomach. And then if you do burp, then, well, guess what? You're probably having the sud burp, which is suddy vomit.
Don't go dancing while you drink this, but I mean, definitely like 1 bottle during the day is definitely, especially like sitting out on a patio. I mean, not a patio pounder, but
you could almost call it a patio pounder. But honestly, what I would just say is like this would just be good grilling food, like grilling beer, like while you're just outside.
True. Yeah,
this is a good beer to have when you're in the heat.
It's a dad beer.
Yeah, that's like you're on the grill. This is the dad beer. This is what Dad's drinking. Totally, that's exactly what this is. This is a dad beer. So if Dad's pissed off that the Miller Lite's out or something, then give him a Mississippi Blonde.
Yeah, this Mississippi Blonde is always fine. So, what would you say for rating on this? Like, how many pals should we give this one?
Well, and I'm honestly, I'm right in the middle. It's the middle of the road. It didn't really do anything to impress me. It didn't really do anything that was just like, holy cow! I would like a 2, 2.5.
2.5 pal? All right.
Yeah, I'd say 2, 2.5. And not saying that it's bad. It's just middle of the road. See, I'm already burping.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I would, but the beer's already talking for me. Yeah, I'd say 2, 2.5. Just out of pure. Yeah, it'd be great out of pure convenience. But
yeah, I mean, for me, it's like when it comes to flavor, I don't always look for a lot of flavor. I mean, sure. I mean, if the beer actually states on the bottle or on the can what's all in there, I'm gonna be a little bit skeptical. But this literally just says it's blonde.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not trying to be anything.
Flavor-wise, I wouldn't really give it much, but I mean, just the texture alone, I would, and just the follow through, I would probably get. I'd say 3 pounds, definitely.
3 pounds. Nice. Hey, again, it's not a bad beer, but this feels like the beer that would be in the 12-pack variety case that would be the last to be picked. They'd have 4 options in there, and this is going to be the last one people go for, just because you got your blueberry or you got your jalapeno, or like basically they're going to have their other options. But it's a good middle of the road dad grilling beer. I totally agree.
All right. Well, we got 1 down, 2 more to go. Let's go on to the next round.
All right. So our next beer here is from Millstream Brewing. It's called Fuzz, and it is a peach Kolsch. Where's that from?
Amana, Iowa.
Amana, Iowa. Not a woman, Iowa. A man, Iowa. A man in Iowa. How many people live there? Not enough women.
I don't know, man.
Point being, this is going to be...
I mean, Radar from MASH was from Ottumwa, so hey, you never know. You never know about that. I mean, hey, I've heard about Ottumwa. That's a good place.
My biggest excitement about this beer right now is that it's peach. Peach is a Jefe thing. I will absolutely go with peach or citrus. Peach is always one of like the candy flavors that I gravitate towards. So peach in a beer definitely gets me excited. I'm excited to see how this goes. And as a Kolsch, it'll be a light beer, so can't wait to see what it brings to the table. Ready?
Let's do this, man.
All right, so here we go. The Fuzz Peach Kolsch. Ooh, a lot of peach on the nose. Honestly,
you're gonna dig this one.
I'm already. Okay, so here's the thing. There's a slight difference between the smell of peaches and peach candy. Much like I say the difference between grape and grape-flavored things. Totally, they are different. You know the difference. But because we live in this world and are fed this candy.
Like the peach gummies.
Yes, the peach gummies. Those exactly. That's what I'm smelling more. I'm smelling more peach gummy than actual peaches, which is fine by me. Because either one is totally good in my book. There's not a lot that's bad in my book. So
take a sip, you'll like it.
Oh yeah, that is, and honestly, the peach kind of gets to its heart. Okay, so Kolsch the light style, light German style beer is a specialty lager. It's a specialty German lager. Technically, the style of Kolsch was originated in Cologne, Germany, where they made this special light beer with specific ingredients. So it only came from that region. It's much like wines, where they can only call it a certain type of wine if it comes from a certain region of France. So technically, that's where it comes from. But they still take that style when they're making beers, like say in America, and they want to add peaches and stuff to it. This is something that Germans are not going to do. But as Americans, we love just messing with everything. And
For sandwich. That's a joke made by everybody. I mean, shoot, everybody's made that joke.
It's just so good. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, this one blows me out of the water from last time. I really enjoy how light it is. It still does have that similar haze yellow color to it, that straw color to it. It's very, very similar. Honestly, if you put them side by side, the other one would probably be a little bit more gold, but this one's definitely there's a lot of light in there.
It's usually like blondes, because they always have that, you know, like gold texture. I mean, obviously, and the Kolsch I've always noticed.
What I'm noticing is you putting it up to the light like this, it kind of looks like pickled juice, not gonna lie.
It does.
It's got a little bit of a green hue to it. And that, I think that's just from our lights, to be honest. But
we're adding a new light.
In all honesty, the smell and honestly that little bit of tart that I'm getting in there, this to me is just a peach ring beer. So it says peaches, and I wonder if it's like what kind of peaches they're using, in what state they're using. If they're just throwing peaches in there, or if they're putting or if they're putting peaches that like a peach puree, which is very, very famous, popular in breweries to use a puree. Facebook's been attacking me about buying purees to make my beer, and I'm like, what? I don't make my beer, so I'm working on it. Yeah. Anyway, so rating, I'm gonna say 4.5 pals. 4.5 pow!
4.5 pounds?
I'm gonna say 4.5, and I mean, like, I'm not giving it a 5 only because, and it sounds silly, but it's because it kind of leans a little more towards the candy flavor than the actual peaches. I've had beers with actual peaches in them, and it's a lot more subtle than this. So I can tell that there's definitely like something enhancing the flavor. It's not necessarily 100% natural. Now, if this brewery came back and said, hey, no, we only use 100% natural peaches, I'd be like, damn, then you did a great job, because you made this taste like it was made for the masses. I mean, this is something that anybody could pick up and start drinking if you like something sweet. It does have that beer taste to it, though. So don't think, oh, if I don't like beer, then I'll like this. It's not necessarily that. If you like Blue Moon, you'll like this.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
Totally same. It's a Kolsch. It's a light beer, but definitely get a lot of this flavor.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I'm pretty much gonna give this one a 4 out of 5 pass. Because, I mean, it's like, I've just recently tried it, and you know what? I mean, it's like, I'm not really into a lot of, quote-unquote fruity beers. I mean,
it's literally a fruity beer.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, it's like, when I was in college, I had a bad experience with Leinenkugel Berry Weiss.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the thing is, it's like, this is a great beer, especially like fruit beers, they're great to have. But if you have too much of it, like they always say, there's no such thing as too much of a good thing. Yes, there is. Because sometimes if you get a hangover on certain, beers or, alcohol, you tend to look back at it and go, oh no.
Yeah.
And when I saw this, it looked interesting and very affordable, but I was thinking to myself, am I going to have the same experience like I did with Berry Weiss in this? I didn't.
I'm going to actually have to retract my last statement about it being leaning towards more of the candy than the actual peaches. I literally chugged the last half of that and then took the last 2 ounces or so, and taking all of it at once. I tasted more natural peach, and honestly, and it sounds weird too, like, I tasted the pit of the peach. Like, I tasted, like, if you're eating a peach and you kind of like, your lips or your tongue, like, kind of surface with the peach, that's what that tastes like. And not in a bad way. It's almost like where, like, seed meets fruit, which makes sense. Oh, it's like barley and the fruit kind of blending together. Now, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know what type of peaches they're using. It could have
just how it runs in the bottom of the bottle.
It's possible too, but I mean, like, literally that last half of that glass that I chugged while you were talking, that tasted more like natural peach than the artificial peach So, I mean, hand over fist, I would say this is definitely a fantastic beer. I would pick up a 6-pack of that. I would suggest that to anybody.
Absolutely. Awesome on that.
Cool.
Well, 2 down. We got 1 more to go for our dessert beer. I'm looking forward to this.
That was almost dessert for me.
This next
I
one.
love peach cobbler.
This next one may not be like full on dessert, but I mean, the cherry in there. You're gonna, the cherry on top.
I do love cherries.
All right, let's get
Cool.
back to it. Cool. So for our 3rd and final round, we have from Front Street Brewing in Davenport, Iowa, the Cherry Bomb Blonde.
I'm very excited about this one.
The one thing about this when I've had it at different bars back in the Quad Cities is they do add a maraschino cherry, but since we're doing this for a review, with the small glasses we have, it won't settle long enough.
I don't have
get
the right cherries either. I'm sorry, I looked.
It's alright, but I do love the artwork on the can. I mean, you have a World War II pinup. That's just,
And it's a really appealing way to look at it too. It's like it's making women look powerful and sexy at the same time, but also not over-sexualizing them, which is also great.
Just makes them look badass.
And honestly, it reminds me of, like, obviously, these kind of types of pinups have been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But even outlets such as, like, DC Comics have used that, and they have a whole bombshell series. All the female heroines and villains in the DC Universe have a bombshell version, which is so cool.
I mean, whether it's even in the comics and even in figures now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I definitely an appealing can. If I was in the liquor store and I walked by this, I'd be like, excuse me. Not just the beer, but, the artwork, too, and just go like, okay, you know what? I could see myself picking that up.
And a good thing about this this blonde is, what they do is, after they've pretty much, brewed it, they put the cherries in before they barrel it. Just to give it that little extra flavor. So you're not going to get a lot of heavy cherry flavor in this, but you're going to get enough. And like what I was mentioning, like they add a maraschino cherry in it when you're, at the bar and whatnot, but it's got that natural cherry flavor because you're not getting that, syrupy, sugary sweet. You're
That's
getting
kind of
that
what I'm
natural.
worried about.
You're getting a natural cherry flavor to this.
Right. And that's what I worry about when it comes to cherry things, because a lot of cherry things, because we're kids and we grew up in this country, most of the medicine that was given to us as kids is cherry flavored. So you really want to stay away from that cherry medicine flavor. And when it comes to alcohol and cherry, it's technically the same type of flavor combo. So I'm really hoping that this kind of just goes over that. And
I think you'll be right.
Sounds good. Let's open her up. And here we are. All right, let's take a look. Definitely the clearest beer out of the 3 that we've seen today. We've had the blonde and a Kolsch, and see again, you're looking at the 2 glasses. His looks a lot golden, a lot more golden than mine. Mine's definitely got this light yellow, almost Mountain Dew color to it.
I'm seeing a lot more gold when I put it through the our professional light that's in here right now.
So yeah, it's definitely definitely again talking about the characteristics of the glass carrying the beer, how important that can be. So I'm interested. I haven't even smelled it yet. I want to see where this goes. It is a hint of cherry. It's not like a powerful cherry, but if I had more head, then I think I'd be able to smell it. Holy cow! A lot more cherry in the taste. It's definitely there, and then, okay, alright. The aftertaste kind of layers down into cherry pie, where you get like that cherry and bread flavor. This is pleasant. This is more of a dessert than the last one. This, like I said, that cherry pie aftertaste, where the malt from the beer blends in with that again. I think that's the second time where the malt and the fruit have blended together to give you a different
Are you saying I was right? Wess was right. Take that, mother.
The initial cherry, though, is still, it's still almost medicine. Like it tastes like almost that cherry flavor. Dries out your mouth a little bit, but still, as it goes down, I'm still getting that apple. Like,
well, they say
that
about
cherry
that spoonful of sugar.
Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine.
Yeah.
Weird.
Mary Poppins really made this beer,
That's not why I'm drinking it.
Nor will I, it's just beer.
This, I mean, it's still like I'm actually like I guess my brain is just boggled by the flavor change from how it starts to how it finishes.
It's definitely a game
And I guess-
changer. It's a game changer.
Well, I mean,
in a way. I mean, like you say, like when it changes, I mean, at first you're like, you don't know, but after a while you're like, you know.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I definitely would tell people to give it a chance. If someone more liked light beer and not a lot of sweetness, I would honestly steer them away from it, only because that sweetness is straight up front. And if that's the first thing that people taste, they're not appreciating the full effect of the beer. Because I can appreciate the full effect of the beer. That first taste really kind of sets me off a little bit, but not enough to the point where it finally goes down.
Yeah, and I mean, and I can understand that, because when I've had this in a can, it definitely tastes a little bit, because there is that sense of, you know, beers can definitely taste different from either in can or on the tap.
Well, sure. It
And
depends on a lot of different
I will admit, the cherry is not as strong at first when it's coming off the tap. It's, I mean, you get a lot more of that blonde.
Okay.
And, you know, and usually, you know, like the cherry more sits down at the bottom of the keg.
Okay.
And so, and that's why a lot of times they'll drop that cherry in,
Sure.
you know, to give that little extra oomph to the flavor.
Well, a lot of places will do that too with certain beers. There's blueberry beers that will always suggest
Very
you
true.
throw blueberries in it. There's obviously Blue Moon, who always wants you to put orange next
slice,
to it.
yeah.
Because honestly, if you drink Blue Moon without the orange, your brain, like, if someone just gave you a beer without the orange and said, "Here, enjoy this," you'd be like, "Oh, okay, what is this?" And unless you saw that orange, you wouldn't think it was Blue Moon, to be honest. I mean, unless you're like me, and where you had a very bad, very wise experience. I had a bad Blue Moon experience when I was younger. So
Understood.
So that's where I can always taste Blue Moon, because I just drank too much of it back then. But again, it was because it was a beer that didn't really taste like beer. But that was just a growing experience for me. I was young. And
Weren't we all? And full of brain cells, where'd they go?
Those things. Who knew? Overall, I don't know. This is not a bad beer. I would definitely suggest this to somebody who is looking for something a little different. And I would definitely be the person who, if I saw a 4-pack of this, I would be the one bringing this to like a barbecue or a friend's party outside. No matter how hot it was going to be, I would definitely be able to bring this out on some ice and be able to pound all 4 before anybody else made it.
And to be honest, if I remember correctly, this one does come in a 6-pack for, if my mind serves me right, roughly about $10.
$10 for a 16-ounce 6-pack?
If I remember correctly, I could be wrong on that, but you know, it's just.
I mean, I wouldn't know, and I couldn't source check you either. I'm just gonna go.
Really? Well, I just went to my local store and just kind of grabbed a bunch of beers, like we always do. And
Yeah,
just go,
yeah.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take that. Yep. I gotta thank my dad for this one. I mean, like he helped me figure out some good ones. I mean,
Very cool.
But I mean, the 3 that we did today, these were ones that I already knew exactly we were gonna be doing. Because
Very good.
the other ones, he was just like, "Yo, try this one. I'm like, you sound like a dealer, man." But he's not.
All right.
So you know.
Overall, I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 pounds.
3.5 pounds? All right.
3.5 pounds.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I'm gonna have to up the ante on that one. I'm gonna say 4.5 pounds, just because. Woo! Well, the reason why is because the very first time I had it, it was, you know, it was a really great experience. Probably because of the fact that it came in the tap. I mean, coming from the can, yeah, I could see the 3.5. But I mean, especially if you had it from the tap, it's a lot easier, you know, on the cherry for sure.
Totally.
But this is definitely something that I could, you know, after a long day of work, and I just want to get some full flavor and just relax, and just something that just makes me realize, you know, even after work or the bulk of the day with, you know, people in general, life's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not good, but it's not bad.
Come on. Positive message.
Positive message. Yep.
Well, that was fun.
Oh yeah. I'll be sure to finish the rest of this. But we hope you enjoyed this little beer review. We made sure this one was short and sweet, because at the last ones we did 10 beers in one night, and we realized we had to stretch those episodes out because we know how you people love our videos being short and sweet. Well, at least under 20 minutes.
I just thought it was funny, like, if you watch all 4 segments of our last review next to each other, you can tell, like, well, how many beers deep are they?
Yeah.
Because if you just pick up on episode 3, you're gonna be like, wow, these guys are funny.
Yeah.
Or we're not.
You get to see the transition of how
Exactly.
gone we got, and it was fun. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like, share, let your friends know. leave a comment in that section below what you liked or what you didn't like. If there's any beers you would love for us to do a review on, we'll do it and we'll give you a shout out in the process. But most importantly, to keep this fan base going, push the red button and ring the bell for instant notifications on Dragonfire Entertainment.
Oh, the subscribe button. I was like, where's the easy button?
I say red button. Just like every sci-fi, the big joke is, it's like every sci-fi film, there's always a red button. They say don't push the red button, but everybody will push the red button, and I really hope you do too.
Push the red button.
Until then, I'm Wild Man Wess.
And I'm Jefe.
And we will see you next time on What's Your Poison, or one of our many segments on Dragonfire Entertainment. Take care, be safe.
Beer is good! Beer is good!